Could somebody please make it make sense?
Hey everybody, welcome to Pop of Culture. I'm your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is a Pop of Culture where I speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a black, bisexual millennial perspective. Everything, and I mean everything I say, should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a recent college grad with access to a recording device and the internet. With that being said, my youth shouldn't be your sole reason to critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything I say, let's have a civil conversation in the comment section below. Before we get into the topic of this video, which is a story time, a short story time, and commentary, I want to advertise my cover channel, Pop of Culture Sings, where I sing throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So if you want to be down like Brandy, if you're down with the click R.I.P. Aaliyah, then definitely feel free to check that channel out. So today's video is about how a dap triggered me. This is going to be a fun little story time and commentary video, so let's get into it. So this story takes place my freshman year of college. I went to a PWI, or a predominantly white institution, and because of this, there was a very active black community on campus. We had a group chat for the first years, and that group chat went basically from the time people were accepted to August, or really late July when we got on campus. Everyone was super hype. Oh my gosh, we're gonna go to college, we're gonna have a great time, we're gonna be like in the TV shows and movies and etc. Everyone was so hype. I'm sure I'm not the only black young person who wanted a different world type of experience. Around the time I graduated from high school, that's when Dear White People was out and everyone was wanting to have a black college experience. I'm sure a lot of us have heard about people finding their best man, their best friends in college, so I wanted that. I wanted part of that. I was even thinking about joining a frat. I wanted that black college experience. But to add some context, I went to a college that wasn't very far from where I live. It's a pretty good school, so not everybody got in there, but as someone who was like a gifted honors AP student who was making pretty good grades, I got in, and some other people from my school got into the school. It wasn't everybody because you had to have good grades, good SAT, but other people who were doing well in school, who were involved, got into the school. So for me, going to college wasn't something where it was just like, oh, I'm going across the country. I'm not going to know anybody. It's going to be so new and different. I was going not that far from where I live with a lot of other people who I knew and interacted with. Because that's the thing. I went to a diverse high school. When you go to a school that's diverse, you know, people of all different races, but you know your black people, especially if you're gifted or AP level black student. That's a small circle if you went to a school like I went to. So I knew all those black people. So when it came out who got into the school that I went to, we all knew each other. We all kiki with each other. We were already friendly with each other. I knew the different people. Some of them I was more close to than others, but entering into that college, entering into that PWI, I was connected to those black people in that group chat, but also black people who came from my high school. So I'm going into my freshman year of college, get into the dorms, minding my business. And while I was connecting with those different other black people from the group chat, I was also connecting with those people who I knew from school. One of them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if anybody knows going to be watching this video. But one of them I knew, I'm like, let's give her name. I'll give her name because this is fun. I've done story times before, but not like this that is going to have commentary on it too. So let's call her Sue, because Sue is nothing like her actual name. I knew Sue because my sister and Sue were in marching band together. And I'd actually been in a class with Sue, and Sue was friends with mutual friends of me, and like we were cool, but there'd been a time where Sue had tried it. Because basically Sue and me were in AP World together, because they have that sophomore year AP World. And I remember Sue had good enough grades where Sue got into the school, but Sue was also kind of like, you know, those people who are in AP and gifted classes, but they get hyped over the fact that they're in a class as AP, but they may not be putting in AP effort, getting good grades. They get good enough grades to not be kicked down. That's what Sue was giving me. That was the thing about Sue and her crew. Her and her crew all wanted to go to very prestigious schools. Sue herself wanted to go to Duke. But here's my thing. If you are trying to get to Duke, you need to have a 4.0 or at least a 3.9 or maybe like a 3.87. But Sue was getting C's in her AP classes, B's with the 10 points. Her and her little crew, they all wanted to get to these prestigious schools, and they were shading the people who are in the CP or standard level classes. But it's like, hun, you're getting C's and low B's. So it's like you sitting here trying to read people, but you need to get in those books, read them books instead of reading those people. Because I remember like one of the main issues I had with Sue was, I remember I got like a 93, or I don't even know what it was. I got like a good grade. I got a natural A, and I did very well in that class because I'm very good at English and social studies. The teacher, he was really cool. Well, he was cool until he made a joke about Caitlyn Jenner.
Ooh, you suck!
He would call out the grades if you wanted him to. Call out the grade if you want me to call it out, or come up here if you don't want me to call it out. And for me, I was really smart, but I was sometimes self-conscious because I didn't want to have a bad grade and everyone know it. I don't remember if I told him call it out or don't call it out, but I got like a really good grade, like either got a 93 or 95, raw 93 and raw 95 in the class for that semester. And I was happy about it. And I remember Sue, who wasn't as studious, I think I was like, oh yeah, I got a 93, and I was really happy. And Sue was just like, you don't have to rub it in our face. And I remember that always never set right with me, because it's like, Sue, just because you are not doing what you need to do, just because you out here kikiing everybody and you not putting in the work, that doesn't mean you need to be mad at me for being happy, because I'm not even like a braggadocious person. I'm very much not that. I'm just not the type of person where I'm full of myself. So if I'm just happy that I got a victory, I got a win, it's just me coming from a genuine place of like, I did good. And for me, I'm very much that person where I'm smart and I'm talented. I'm always assuming the worst and assuming I failed stuff. Like I'll get an A on the test and I'll have thought I was gonna fail it. Like I'm always that type of person who's hypercritical of myself, very much unlearning being a perfectionist, all of that. And I'm gonna get into that in other videos. But anyways, that had been an issue with Sue, where I F'd with Sue, but that always stuck out to me, like, Sue, you kind of bitter, you can't see other people win, I don't F with you for that. But you're in a new environment, you're trying to get to know people, and Sue and, we'll call the other one Shelly, because these are fake AF names. But so Sue and Shelly were in a dorm together, and I was cool with Shelly. There's no beef with Shelly in the story time. Well, there's other stuff with Shelly, but I F with Shelly. If you're watching this video, I F with you. But Shelly and Sue were in the dorm together, so I remember when they moved in, because I'd moved in early. I think I moved in the first day you could move in. Eventually I connect with Sue and I go to Sue's dorm and we kiki, we talk, whatever. We're hanging out. Shelly moves in and we're cool, and we kind of became this threesome. We hung out with each other. And I was also connecting with other Black people from the group chat, and also Black men from the group chat. And I'll add context, as I say in the intro, Black by man, and also someone who's into stuff like Drag Race, into stuff like female pop artist and female R&B artist. So for me, even though I don't think I'm the most feminine person walking the streets, I am often read as queer by people who don't know me, people who just met me, etc. So for me, as someone who is a Black queer man, as a Black bi man who's often read as queer, sometimes for me, even though I've had positive interactions with other Black men, I do feel like sometimes being someone who's read as queer, Black men can keep you at arm's length. So for me, even though I had some positive experiences with making friends with other Black men, in college I definitely wanted to put myself out there with more Black men, because as a Black man, I like interacting with other Black men, not just queer Black men, but Black men in general, because being a Black man is a unique experience. So even though I connected with people in high school, I definitely went to college wanting to connect more with other Black men and other Black people. And so I was excited to hang out with Black men, and a lot of the Black men I was interacting with were really friendly, really nice. As I began the school year, you know, people getting to know me, people want to hang out with me. And so when I would interact with Black men, I'd be friendly, I'd start conversations, etc., etc. And one of the things that annoyed me, and how, as the title says, how dapping someone up triggered me, is I was with either Sue or Sue and Shelly, and I dapped this Black man up. You know, he's a cool Black guy, very friendly, and I dap him up. And I remember after I dap him up, Sue gives this reaction of like, oh my gosh, like you dapped him up, like you're a real boy, you're a real dude, you're a real nigga, or whatever. And I remember this pissed me off so much, because she was basically implying because I'm a queer man or a queer reading man, like that I can't be a part of Black male culture, Black male spaces. It pissed me off, it triggered me, because it was just like, I'm very aware of the fact that as a Black queer man, and not just as a Black queer man, because anybody can be queer, and you can be queer and still be straight passing and fit into Black spaces. But as a Black queer reading man, by a lot of people and personal experiences, as someone who is often read as queer, sometimes it is more difficult for me to connect with Black men, because some Black men want to keep me at arm's length because they don't want to be tied to queerness. So when I'm trying to connect with Black men, already aware of this, and when you're sitting here and acting like, oh my gosh, you dapped a dude up, oh my god, like I can't believe it's happening. One of the things I want to note is I wasn't even out at this time. So it's like, you're hanging around somebody who you're assuming is queer, and when they're trying to interact with other Black men, you're implying that they don't belong, that it's shocking that they're able to fit in with the culture and interact with other people who look like them. I'll get into my coming out process later on in future videos, but one of the things that I want to state here and make very clear is if somebody's not out, they're probably already hyper aware of the differences between themselves and other people. So you pointing those out and emphasizing them, poking fun at them, that's not something that you need to do. I don't know if she had malice behind it, but I just hated the implication of I'm not the same as other Black men. And I feel like there's certain microaggressions like that that I've experienced in my life, where Black women treat me differently because they read me as queer, or if they find out I am queer, it's like I'm not treated or viewed in the same light as other men. I wanted to state that sometimes I feel Black women want to pat themselves on the back for being allies, and the problem is they don't realize that they're not actually being an ally by treating queer Black men differently. When you make it out that straight Black men and queer Black men are these two different species, and you refer to Black queer men as girl or cis, or you treat them as something completely different than you treat people you assume are cisgender and heterosexual, that's an issue, because you're just wanting to turn this person into your sidekick. You're just trying to turn them into the stereotype of what you think queer men are supposed to be. You're not an ally if you don't actually try to treat your Black queer male counterparts as actual living, breathing people with emotions and trauma and who are trying to build a life for themselves. If you can only see them as someone to make you laugh or to keep you up to date on the culture. What happened was a microaggression. She said a microaggression by implying that I wasn't fit to be a part of the Black male culture. Even though I'm bi and attracted to women, I'm treated and put in this different category. So I just wanted to talk about that. Have y'all experienced anything like this? If you're a Black person, if you're a queer person, have you ever experienced situations like this where you're trying to interact with people, you're trying to be a part of the culture, and people essentially shit on your efforts? And I just hated that. Like, I don't think that she realized what she was saying when she said it, but she was basically implying... I kind of got interrupted, but what I was saying was she was basically implying I don't belong, I don't fit in. And I'm here to tell you I do fit in. As a Black male, as a Black American male, I fit into Black male spaces. People may need to check their homophobia, they may need to check their feminaphobia, but if anybody belongs in Black male spaces, I do. You know what I'm saying? Look at me. So that was the story time. I definitely have a lot of story times. Shelly actually tried it too, so Shelly can be the next story time, so look forward to that. And also look forward to my A Pop of Culture concert / Can a Pop of Culture Sing video that will be coming out very soon. Live performances will be happening in that video, so excited to announce that. See y'all soon. Love y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Like this video if you like this video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the points I made in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and share. That way, even if YouTube isn't pushing my content, those who resonate with it are sharing it so it can connect with others who would enjoy it. Those are some easy, free ways to support A Pop of Culture. If you want to support this show financially, feel free to send a tip to my Cash App or buy me a cup of coffee. Both are linked below. All who donate will be featured in the credits of my long-form commentary and cover videos. There are 2 playlists that are going to pop up, one where you can binge watch my covers and one where you can binge watch my commentary. Enjoy. Bye-bye.